What is going on, Amazon sellers? Happy Sunday. I hope everyone is doing well. I am back to answer your questions about Amazon and help you any way that I can in your business. For those of you who may be here for the first time, my name is Chris Grant. I go by @ClearTheShelf across all social media, and we are live from sunny Central Florida. Hope that you guys have had a good weekend and are ready to get going for the week ahead. Ryan, good to see you, man. Matthew, what's going on? Good to see you in here. And Luke, absolutely. I'm going to try to go no days off until at least the end of December, other than Christmas. I'll take that day off. My family would not forgive me for that. But we've got a couple of cool things coming up. A little bit later this week, we are going to do a webinar on beating Section 3s. And if you are already signed up to the email list, you'll get an email. Keep an eye out for it. If you're not signed up to the email list, head over to cleartheshelf.com. There should be some links down below, and you can get signed up. I'll shoot out an email. It's going to be absolutely free, going to cost nothing. We're just going to do it, and we're going to go through everything along with examples. Now, again, I'm here to answer your questions. So if you've got a question about Amazon, about FBA, online arbitrage, whatever it is, please make sure to drop it in the chat. That helps me do my job. And I, of course, have a little tip for you guys today. Hopefully something that will be helpful. We are starting to wind down. There's probably 5 more days or so of kind of peak season. And then it's going to slow down a little bit because it's going to be hard to get items merchant fulfilled out to customers. But then on the afternoon of the 25th, your FBA should be picking back up. So hopefully you didn't stop shipping into Amazon. And then we go into gift card season, which is a great time to sell products and get rid of the things that are left over from Q4 as well. And you can often keep your prices high. So let's go ahead. Let's dive in. If you've got any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. And instead of just waiting around, I'll go ahead and I'll show you guys what I have been working on for you today. So a lot of people are curious, what the heck sells in January? Like, I know that I've been focusing on shoes and clothing, and I've been focusing on a lot of toys and things like that for Q4. And it seems that a lot of people forget what sells the rest of the year. Now, don't forget that the things that have sold in Q4 don't just magically stop selling in January of 2025. Those things are going to keep selling. Now, maybe velocity slows down a little bit and people are not buying 30,000 plush dolls in a month, but there's still people going to be buying them. There are birthdays, there are reasons to be gift giving, there are late Christmases and things like that. But we're also moving into a new year. So there are going to be people who are buying all kinds of other things, beauty, health supplements, exercise equipment. That stuff never stops either. However, people want to have a little bit more data. So I'll show you exactly how to do that. Inside of Keepa, you can go to the data section and you go to the product best sellers. Now, I went ahead and I chose office products. And then over here on the right-hand side, you can choose this historical. And you'll see that I chose January of 2024. Now, I could go all the way back to December of 2021, and I can go all the way up to last month. I cannot show December of 2024, of course, but I chose January 2024. I'm going to go ahead and expand this. And now we can roll through here and we can start seeing, well, what were the items that were selling the best historically in this particular category? Now, what's interesting here is we've got a lockbox. So maybe some real estate agents are ready to get back out there. Maybe some, rental property owners are saying, hey, you know what? We're really going to start showing some more rental properties. Let's get some new lock boxes. But then there's storage items and office things. Everybody wants to get organized and they want to work harder and they want to be more efficient. Well, all of these things are popping up. And you can see here these Rollo direct thermal printers, Amazon sellers are obviously keeping these selling all year long, but they are selling in January as well. Okay. So, ton of things here. Now, you could go through each one of these. These are the top 5,000 best sellers from the month of January 2024. However, that is a ton of work. So, what I would tell you to do is run to this area right here where you can choose how many are showing, and you can only show the top 5,000 and choose the 5,000. Now, that's going to take a little bit of your tokens to pop open here to show you everything. You'll see I'm down to 360 tokens available. Now I'll get reimbursed for those tokens over time, so don't worry. Okay, they'll come back. But rather than go through these all manually, I'm going to export these. And when I hit export, I can choose all active columns, or I could choose only the ASINs, and I can choose an Excel or a CSV file. Now, if I were going to source these manually, or I wanted to put these into, and have some sort of VLOOKUP or something like that, I would choose all active columns into an Excel file. But I want to upload these into Keepa. So I downloaded just the ASINs into a CSV. And we can come over to the data section and the product viewer. Inside of the product viewer, we can put in a list of ASINs up to 10,000 at a time, or we can upload a text file. A text file means it can be a .txt or a .csv. So I went ahead and I uploaded my Keepa export right here, okay? And I hit load list. And then I was given all of this data. Gave me 4,989 results. Not quite 5,000, but pretty daggone close. And now what I can do is I can come in here and I can filter for items that are more likely to be things that I want to sell. So one of the first things I'm going to do is I'm going to come over to the number of new offers. And let's see if I still have it up here. If I need to, here we go. We've got new offer count. So in the new offer count, over the 90-day average, I'm going to click on this little hamburger icon here. Let me make this screen a little larger. I'll click on this little hamburger icon, and I'm going to say that the 90-day average needs to be greater than 3, okay, to try to get rid of some of the private label products that are out there. And there we go. I got rid of, hopefully, most of the private label products. But I can also go into the buy box section, and I can say, you know what? Show me the items where, actually, I want to see where Amazon has been out of stock, greater than or equals, we'll say 60% of the time over the last 90 days on average. All right. And now I am down to, see how many items are in here. I'm down to 57 ASINs in the office category that Amazon's been out of stock 60% or more over the past 90 days. And the number of sellers over the past 90 days is 3 or more. All right. These items also sold in the top 5,000 last January. Now, this item here, for example, this makes a ton of sense. And the reason I'll tell you that this makes sense to be a bestseller in January is because you've got not just one, but you actually have 2 back-to-school seasons. The first one, of course, is in the July and August timeframe, but the other one is in January when college kids are going back to school, but also there are plenty of college kids who are starting school. So we look at this over the past year, and we'll see that this obviously became untethered from its parent ASIN, but it did sell well last year. You can see that it was selling 100, and then as we got into February, it bumped up to 200 and even 300. So I would expect this to happen again. Now, maybe Amazon comes in stock on this particular item, but it looks like Amazon is sharing this buy box, okay? And the number of sellers is going down, and we can actually see in the buy box that it's changing between Amazon and third-party sellers. And then it looks like they sell out around the middle of February. So can we find this product where it would be profitable at that $129 range where Amazon's been in stock? I have no idea, but we can take a look. We'll do this coral. Let's do a quick Google search, see what we can find. Office Supply has a bunch of them. I'm guessing this is, let's see how many are there. 1,800 is a lot. Don't want to buy it from AliExpress, but let's see what we can get over here. Python edition, 1838. This has got to be like a pack of 10. Sure enough, it's a pack of 10. So these are about 180 a pop. Not going to work. But if I dig deeper, can I find these cheaper? Well, here's 139, but they're out of stock. That wouldn't be helpful, but we could keep going. And so you guys kind of get the drift, okay? We could continue down this list, find other items that may be profitable coming into the new year. And if nothing else, we could at least have our eyes opened to new niches or areas that we might go sourcing. If you've never thought about sourcing graphing calculators before, where you can see it's been a bestseller, well, it's been orphaned from its parent listing. Let me go find all the other Texas Instruments calculators, and can I sell those, or can I find those profitably? All right. And we could keep going. See if there's anything else here that looks interesting to me. Not really a whole lot, but well, journals. Journals is sort of interesting. You'll notice that they get much more popular this time of year, and going into the next year, they're going to be given as gifts. But then people also want to make sure that they're journaling through the next year and things like that. So that could be another niche that you go down. Okay. So doing this will not only allow you to find products that are profitable if you take the time to do it, but also open up your eyes to things that might be able to be sold going into the next year. All right. Now, let's see if there are any other questions I can answer for you guys before I give you guys your Sunday back. Need to ship off FBA before the 20th cutoff for inventory lab, then sit and watch. Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing is, if the softwares out there don't have everything figured out by the 20th, you can ship right inside of Amazon. That's an option. Am I selling on Walmart? I am. I have a Walmart account. I am still yet to sell my first item on Walmart. Now, we've done a podcast with some Walmart sellers. Tomorrow, we're doing another podcast with another Walmart seller to learn a little bit about it. And maybe that will be enough to get me to dip my toes into the Walmart pond. Dank Melon. I know Amazon has a problem with people selling or using the same IP and address. If your roommate is looking to start an account, would this put my current one at risk? So I think you may have asked this question on another place as well. So let me explain what I've done and what I would do differently now. So there was a time several years ago, this would have been 7, maybe 8 years ago, when my sister-in-law lived with me for a while, and she wanted to sell on Amazon. She sold primarily books. So what we did is we opened up a case with Amazon. And I said, hey, my sister-in-law is going to live with me. She's going to open up her own Amazon account. We're not going to sell any of the same products or anything like that. And they were okay with that. They said, all right, no problem. I kept that email, made sure that it was not only in my Amazon account, but also printed off and saved as a PDF, along with every timestamp that I could get my hands on. And then she opened up her account. We used the same internet service provider. She used the same Wi-Fi. She was never allowed to log in on my computer. I never touched her computer, and we were good to go. If I were doing that today, if someone were moving in with me and they were going to open up an Amazon account, what I would do now is I would go the same route. I would say, hey, I have so-and-so, and my roommate, my sister-in-law, whatever it is, they are going to live with me and they're going to open up an account. I just want to make sure that you guys are aware, and that's okay. And I would get that in writing. But the second thing that I would do is I would make sure that nobody has the same computer. Okay. Nobody uses the same computer. There's no, it's not the 90s anymore. You don't need to have a computer in the family room. And everyone should have their own internet service provider. Make them get a wireless internet service provider, make them have their own, wired internet service provider, whatever it is, but have two different ISPs. That way you have two different, hopefully, IP addresses and things like that. And if possible, try to get them through different companies, just make everything look separate. Make sure that the LLCs are filed properly, make sure that everything looks different, and you should be just fine. Yeah, TI-84s are good to sell all over the place. Matthew, when do you think the Amazon FC transfer times are going to get better? I don't know, man, but FC transfer times are killing me. Absolutely killing me. We have not stopped shipping in to Amazon, so we have a shipment that goes in once a week from our prep center, and I am like waiting and waiting forever. Now I'm hoping it gets a little bit better in January. I would imagine that would be the case, because the way that I understand it is that normally during Q4, Amazon goes to like a 5-to-1 ratio, where 5 trucks go outbound and then 1 truck comes inbound. Now, I've heard rumors that this year they switched it from 5-to-1 to 10-to-1. So 10 trucks go outbound for every 1 truck that comes inbound. If that's the case, and they switch it back to 2-to-1 or even 5-to-1 come January, things should pick up, and I hope that's how it goes. I'd love to hear how you got accepted into Walmart. I got declined to my first attempt, but I hear that happens a lot. So I was able to get approved the very first time I applied. I made sure that everything was super clean. I think they asked me for my LLC information. So I gave them my articles of incorporation. I gave them my operating agreement. And I also printed off the screenshot from the state in which I am registered as a LLC in. I think they also asked for bank account information. So I made sure to print off not 1, but 2 months worth of statements from that bank account. They asked for my ID, and they wanted to make sure it matched. So I sent that in. And then they asked me for, tell you what, I can pull it up here. I'm not going to share it with you guys, but I'll tell you what the follow-up was. I needed to verify my email. That was all done. Let's see what else is here. Oh, no, that was it. Yeah, they approved me, and then I had to finish setting everything up on the actual Walmart Seller Central or whatever it is. So keep at it, go again, and I'm sure they'll get it right. Sov, I'm interested in getting into FBA. Watched your step-by-step guide. Would you recommend as a university student to look deeper into it and start selling with a few grand in capital? I have the time. Yeah, as long as you are not looking for something that is going to make you fistfuls of cash immediately, then yeah, I would absolutely look at it. I still think it's a great business. It's something that you can do from a dorm room. It's you can use a prep center. I know guys who have had things shipped to their dorm rooms and shipped out. But it's a good business. It's an interesting business, and it's a business that will teach you a ton as you're going through college. How to run an inventory based business, how to figure out your profit and loss statements, how to do accounting, all of that stuff. It's a good way to get your hands dirty in the game of entrepreneurship if that's the way you want to go. Now, if you're looking for something that has no capital requirements to get started, or you want to try to spin up something really fast, you might go for a TikTok affiliate or Amazon influencer program. That's going to be a ton of work and labor and video creation, but it's going to be less capital out of your pocket. Or you could do both if you have enough time. Dank, how do you go about opening up a case? So if you go into Seller Central and you go into the search bar and just type in what you're looking for. It can be, second account or something like that. And then down at the bottom of the search results from that search that you put in there, it'll say, I need more help or something like that. I always forget exactly what it says. And I've got to get my two-factor authentication out to be able to log into Seller Central. But there's just a little button at the bottom of those search results on the right-hand side. Click on that, and then you'll be able to open a case. And it can be about other, and just write out a nice email about what you're thinking about doing, and wait for the results to come back. And what if they plan on selling some of the same products? I wouldn't. I would try to not sell the same products if at all possible. And the only reason I say that, okay, is that I want to keep you from getting those accounts thinking that Amazon. I want to keep you from making Amazon think that you're selling on two different accounts to try to get more buy box share or something like that. All right, Survival 1973. Hey, Chris, what can you do, I'm guessing, if the company that you purchased the items from doesn't carry a website and email address on their receipt and Amazon's demand it? What can I do? Well, I'm guessing they probably have a website. So what I would do is show them your invoices and receipts, whatever you have. All right. And then I'm sure they have something to show that it's from them. Okay. Get your shipping confirmation, get your delivery confirmation, your order confirmation, everything else that you can, put it all together. But then go out and grab screenshots of the actual website, the About Us, the Contact Us page. Go to Trustpilot if they've got one of those and grab all of that information. Go to the Better Business Bureau. Go grab their corporate information. Grab their Google My Business. Like, do everything you can to show them that this is a legitimate business, and you should be good to go. Can you explain OTDR, or on-time delivery rate, for FBM to me as if I was a third grader? I'm using all of the Amazon optimizations and I'm below the threshold. Will this improve over time? Only started FBM on December 1st. So the way that I understand it is if you want to be protected by OTDR, okay? So OTDR is on-time delivery rate. Amazon wants to make sure that you are shipping items out on time and that they are getting delivered within a certain window. If you fail those metrics, then you get dinged and you can get your merchant fulfilled availability taken away. Now, it does get better over time, and there's also sometimes the opportunity to be able to submit a plan of action to get it fixed. Okay. But the way that Amazon explains it is if you use automated handling time from Amazon and you use SSA or the shipping automation, and if you buy OTDR protected shipping, then Amazon should protect you if it's late or something like that. Now, whether or not that's the case, I can't say for sure. I have not seemed to have an issue so far. We've only shipped out 50 or 60 units ourselves this month. We didn't want to do heavy FBM, so we just got a few things and sold them. But a lot of it was to just test the OTDR. I've had no issue as of yet. I ship out on time. I use all of Amazon's SSA and AHT and all of that stuff, and we haven't had any issues. Okay. Now, will yours improve over time? Yes. There is a certain period in which you are judged, and as time goes on, it will get better. Okay. Whether or not, either because you're shipping more packages or because you stop and it just starts to fall off of your account. Have you seen or heard, Mason, what's going on? Have you seen or heard about Mercado Libre? Got a call from them asking if I wanted to join selling there. Looks like invite only. I know that Mercado Libre is the largest e-commerce player, marketplace in Latin America. So yes, I've definitely heard of them. They are owned It's not Carlos Slim, is it? Bear with me a second here. No, it's not. It's not Carlos Slim. I thought it was. Um, who's the founder? Marcos Galperin was the founder. Yeah, Carlos Slim is from Mexico, not Argentina. Uh, Now, I know that they are very big in Latin America, South America, things like that. Uh, I've never even thought to sell on that platform. If you happen to be down there, I would imagine that it's probably not a bad idea. I know that they currently, I think, have more volume than, say, Amazon Brazil, but Amazon is trying to get its foot in the door. So, not a bad idea to take advantage of it if it makes sense for your business. Not going to lie, mine wasn't nearly as organized as you did it. I'll try that on my second go round for sure. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Chris, what's going on, man? Charles, what's up? So we see and hear that other Amazon experts trainers are scaling down their stores and focusing more on teaching or trying to help brands. Is your store scaling up, down, or staying the same? Actually, right now we are in the process of scaling up. We are not scaling down currently. I am still bullish on Amazon. Uh, I understand that there are difficulties. I understand that it is a maturing marketplace. I know that Amazon can make things a little tough at times, but we are scaling up. I think Amazon's got quite a ways to go. I think there's still going to be the 800-pound gorilla in the room for quite some time. And if there's profit to be squeezed, I don't see why we shouldn't do that, especially at the volumes that Amazon offers. But I'm always willing to pivot if necessary. So, but I'll also be honest. Like if I ever think the day comes where Amazon needs to be put out to pasture, then I'll say it, and I'll say here's where I'm going and what I'm doing. Do you know who has the best leads list by any chance? So I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna give you a single answer, but I'm gonna give you a couple of answers. All right. Uh, One of the best leads list is actually one that I will help run for another quarter. Okay. We ran it through Q4, and in my opinion, we crushed. Okay. I'm trying to be objective as possible here, but over $60,000 in potential profit from the leads that we shared, over 500 different sources. I shared personally over 600 leads, and we're not even done. I've still got another half month to go. Okay. Uh, and we're going to do a Q1 group as well. It's going to be a little bit less expensive. There are leads from 3 different providers: myself, Derek Lee, Eli Glakowski, and I'll be sending out an email about it. It's going to be really good. There are incredible leads to be had even as we go into the new year. Sales don't stop. People want to sell their products. Outside of that, I would tell you that Chris Rasick, my podcast co-host, he has a weekend leads list. It seems to rarely have openings, so it's obviously good. I look at the lead. I get to look at the leads sometimes. I don't source from them, but they've always been very solid. And then my friend Eli Glakowski of OA Leads Pro and my other friend Derek Lee of OA Hunt, they both run very solid lead lists. And then, of course, there is FBA Lead List, who's run by Heath and his team. They do a good job as well. It would just depend on what you're looking for. Yeah, Luke, thank you for that. So many leads in his database from the Q4 group. And yes, that is the only place you can get leads from me. I do try to put rabbit trailheads on there as well. You might know it as leaf sourcing or rabbit trailing, or there's all kinds of different names for it. But I when I get a little busy, I miss them. But when it's not so busy, I try to put in there, hey, here's a lead. Here is also where you could go from this lead. Yeah. So Charles, absolutely. There you can absolutely spread out the risk. There's nothing wrong with scaling up on Amazon and not being afraid. Like, we are entrepreneurs. We solve problems. We know that Amazon is in control. They're the ones who make the decision as to what happens when. And we can only react to those. But I think going wide and shallow, and shallow can be different for different people. For me, it's 10 to 20 units. For other people, it's 50 units, and that's fine. But I'm not against spreading out the risk either. I wish that I had the capability to sell on Amazon and Walmart and eBay, and also do TikTok shop and Amazon affiliate or Amazon influencer program and all these things. Matter of fact, the person that we're going to be interviewing tomorrow, she does all these things. I don't know how. She must have a calendar that is incredibly regimented, but we're going to try to pick up from tips from her, and she's doing really well. Am I a full-time seller? So I consider myself a full-time seller. Yes, I am. I am full-time. Like, I don't have a 9 to 5 any longer. Matter of fact, I consider myself terminally unemployable anymore. And if all of this went away, I would go and I would start something different, maybe a local service business, or maybe try to buy a gas station or something like that. But managing payments to yourself, my opinion is that you should try to pay yourself at least a little something, even from the beginning. Now, you could use something. Shoot, I'm going to forget the name of that book. Um, Bear with me one moment. I'm just looking up the name of a book. Man, I'm gonna totally blank on this. I apologize. But anyway, you can put a little bit away into an account for yourself where you pay yourself out of. Put the rest back into the business, whatever. Profit first. Thank you. You can use that profit first method. Okay. A little bit to the taxes, a little bit to paying yourself, all the rest of it getting reinvested. And then over time, as capital becomes a little bit easier for you, then start paying yourself more and more every single time you get paid. But I do believe in paying yourself first every single time. Okay. Even if you're reinvesting all of your profit, take out a little piece, put it in your pocket, put it in your savings or whatever it may be. Pay yourself first. That way it feels real. It feels like you've absolutely made something. All right. Yeah. Miles is absolutely right. Amazon is in control, but Amazon also brings the customers. They really, really do. I am a fan of diversifying, but here's the thing, okay? The Walmart marketplace is only at $10 billion this year. And I know that I say only 10 billion, like that's some, silly number, but the Amazon marketplace is going to hit 400,000 or 400 billion this year. eBay marketplace is 75 billion this year, just about. All right. So Walmart has to 8x before they're the size of eBay. And everyone says, well, eBay selling is slow. Okay. Now, will Walmart do that? Yeah, absolutely. I expect that they'll be bigger. Their marketplace will be bigger than eBay eventually. Okay. But they've got an incredible way to go before they're even close to being Walmart's size. So, forgetting Amazon and going all in on another marketplace, I just don't think is the move right now. All right. If there are no other questions, we'll wrap it up there for today. It's been about 30 minutes. I'll be back here tomorrow at 5:30 to do this again with you guys, and of course, bring you a tip as well. Tomorrow, we're probably going to talk about SalesGazer for just a moment. All right, let me answer this one last question, then I'll get you guys out of here. As someone new to this as well, I'm not going to lie. The payments to yourself does get confusing, specifically tracking cash flow, spend, while also trying to figure out a percent to pay to yourself. Absolutely. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but go read Profit First. They have Profit First and Profit First for e-commerce sellers. Go read that. It'll kind of put you in the right mindset for paying yourself and all of that stuff. All right. All right. That's it, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at 5:30. Hope you guys have a great rest of your evening and keep crushing those FBM orders for a couple more days. Talk to you guys tomorrow.